What is fear? Fear is nothing but a feeling of being afraid of us getting hurt in some way or the other. Every year, I try to overcome at least one of my fear, getting out of my comfort zone one step at a time. I love dancing. I always have. At social gatherings, get-togethers, parties with family, friends. But you know what? I always need a partner. It's funny, but honestly, I can't dance alone in front of a crowd or audience. I cannot face the stage alone. As a child, I was shy. I wouldn't participate in any of the competition which required me to be on stage alone. So, I have been carrying that baggage of stage fright throughout my life. I never let go of that little girl who was happy in her comfort zone of familiarity. I wouldn't be doing this if I wouldn't have taken that leap into the unknown, out into the uncomfortable, unfamiliar. That's what most of us do, right? The true fear here is not of stage, it's of being judged, of failure, of messing it up, of all those eyes being on you and no one else. No one else taking the onus of your action, no one to hide behind, nowhere to go. True scenario of flight or fight. This year, there was a family wedding and I had to take part in the celebrations. I wanted to wriggle out of this because I was a nervous wreck. Not because of practice or anything, but the sheer knowledge of facing my demons. But I couldn't. I had promised. It was now or never. The knowledge that I was doing this in front of my family and friends was comforting as well as added more pressure. It was as if I had to prove a point, but there wasn't any point to be proved. It was just in my head. My fear of being judged, and yes, eventually that made me freeze at the very beginning. Oh yes, I goofed up. I goofed up after all right. That moment I remember the Murphy's Law. Whatever can go wrong will go wrong, and it so did. What did I have to lose now? I just tried to be calm and go with the flow and give my best shot. It wasn't easy, believe me. I went on and then I heard cheering from the audience. That itself was so comforting and motivating because the audience doesn't want you to really fail. In fact, they want you to go on. And with a beating heart, I went on. I couldn't stop. I couldn't take a flight, so I kept going. I kept looking at one person at a time because believe me, the sheer magnitude of the entire crowd is scary. So one at a time I went on with the audience as well as my steps, and before I knew, not really, actually, it seemed really long, the dance was over. I felt liberated and light, and yet the feeling of what others thought of being judged was at back of my mind. It always is, you know. I guess that is the root cause of most of our fears, of us being trapped in our comfort zones, not taking that leap of faith. So, has my fear of stage gone? I don't know. Only time will tell. All I can say is that I took that first step and that leap, and I will keep walking out of my comfort zone even if it is baby steps. I will keep moving ahead into the unfamiliar, discovering new unknown possibilities and experiences. It's gratifying, satisfying, and really makes me happy to go on and keep learning, to keep growing. We grow fearless by walking into our fear, by facing it, by being strong, not just by thinking about it, but acting on it. So don't let this fear of what could happen, let nothing happen. Get out of your comfort zone and keep growing from strength to strength.